see this kiddo, he was loved, truly loved. And in an honor to celebrate him, we have decided to let everybody kind of come up and give maybe 1 or 2 minutes of memories, funny jokes, anything. Somebody asked if they could dance. I think so. But yeah, I just wanted to honor Monica and George and Leah and Lexi and the rest of the family. Josh was a good boy. He was a good man. Monica and George. I have other boys if you'd like to help raise them. So that's kind of what we were thinking today. So we'll look for people to come up for, like I said, a minute or two. You can start by standing over by Tricia here, and we'll try and let everybody come and do that. If you don't want to speak, we have paper and pens at the tables. I can either read it for you, or you can put it in the box in the middle of the room there, and that'll be a little keepsake for Monica and George to read later. I was going to start with mine that I talked just a minute about when I first met Monica and George and Josh. He was probably 2 years old. It was here at Kingdom Kids, and he was a rambunctious young man, just like my kids. And so all 3 of them just hit real quick, and I am forever grateful for that. It was an honor to walk beside you through all of this. You are amazing parents. I've been in healthcare for 20 years, and you guys are amazing. Absolutely amazing. The healthcare team was beyond measures. And so we know that this kiddo, he fought the good fight. He did everything. He did things even when he didn't want to do things. So we can know that it was he's leaving the legacy. It's a good kid. And we will miss him. And I do hope that if you guys aren't able to provide words, that you remember Monica and George in the upcoming months and days and weeks. And if they're on your heart, just sending a text or a call to let them know you've got them and help them walk through this. I'm going to start with one of their friends who, Jen Updahl, is one of their very, very good friends. And she went on her trip because the Hansens said, "You're going on the trip." And so she's not here as hard as it was for her. And I want to honor her and start out with her message to you. I met Monica when she interviewed for a job we were hiring for at the cancer center. We offered her the job, and she let me know that she found out the day of her interview that she was pregnant. I was very pregnant at the time of my first. She joked that she would like to talk with a pregnant lady to break the news. I had my oldest about a month, about a month later, and 6 months later, Josh was born. We have so many memories over the years with our kids growing up and playing together, along with the Raleigh kids. We've celebrated birthdays together, had play dates and sleepovers, and weekend getaways. The list goes on and on. We all became a family. We are family, friends who are family. We are second mamas and dads to each other's kids. We've watched our kids grow up together. When Josh was diagnosed, we were all shocked and devastated. We all rejoiced in his remission. We were devastated again at his relapse. When we got into remission again, and a second bone marrow biopsy, we were all so positive and hopeful. Josh was such a fighter. We went through his battle with such strength and holding his faith. Our hearts were shattered, and we were again shocked and devastated when he passed away. We are thankful he no longer has to suffer. We are thankful we had time with him. We are thankful for 18 wonderful years with him. My heart is broken for George, Monica, Leah, Lexi, and all who love Josh. Their worlds will never be the same. None of our worlds will ever be the same. We are grateful we will see him again one day. Until that day, catch all the big fish up there, buddy. Watch over all of us. Know we will never forget you, and we will miss you fiercely. I love you, Josh. Thank you, Jen. I have one last one that I would like to read as well. This is from Dr. Weatherhead, who sent a message here. Said, can you please pass along a warm embrace and remind them their amazing parents who fiercely advocated for Josh every step of the way. The courage and poise they showed in honoring Josh in his final moments, allowing him to pass peacefully and non-violently, is a testament to their strength, bravery, and love. Josh is dearly missed, and I just hope to have the opportunity to see our parents again. Our lives have not been the same. And then I will have one of you get us.
Don't be alarmed. I'm quick for your reading. It's okay to promise you this. First off, I wanted to thank everyone for coming today. I know that last night and today have been a very difficult day for George, Monica, and Leah, but they're so grateful that all of you are here. So thank you for coming to celebrate Josh and to support them. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Annie. I've been one of Monica's best friends for the last 20 plus years, and I have the distinct honor of being Josh's second one. And so when I thought about what I wanted to say tonight, I just really struggled because we've had so many years, as Lindsay read from Jen, so many years of memories together, and it was hard for me to pick just one. I'm blessed enough to have known him all 18 years, 8 months, and 30 days of his life. When they were younger, our kids always wanted to get together. We spent lots of time together on the weekends. We'd have movie nights or family game nights. And with that, then there was always the inevitable begging for over sleepovers. Everybody always wanted to stay over. And then the subsequent tears and tantrums when we would once in a while say no, and lots of sighs from the dads when we would say yes. But those were such fun days. Giggles and laughter in our bedrooms at night, sometimes the random scream at 2 o'clock in the morning that could wake you up when they were just being kids together. As they grew up, Josh joined us on many family vacations. We'd go to the Wisconsin Dells together. I have very distinct memories of Josh sitting in the middle row, in the very back of our van, in the middle between Ben and Sophie, scream singing Uma Thurman by Fall Out Boy. And I know somewhere I have an audio file of him doing very, very a dramatic rendition of Adele's Hello. Josh was a performer. He loved to make people laugh. He would do silly dances and make funny faces all the time. He just always enjoyed making people laugh. I remember once we had a little karaoke machine, and he had it in our kitchen, and we have bifold mirror doors in our kitchen, and even though nobody else was watching, he certainly entertained himself. He would dance and sing all the time. He loved being goofy, as George said in his tribute too. He was just a very fun kid. As I got into high school, I was lucky enough to be able to drive Ben and Sophie and Josh to school every morning their freshman year. And it was so nice for me to be able to connect with him because the boy was fishing all the time. He never came over anymore because he was always fishing. So it was a nice way for me to connect with him and hear about his fish stories and all of his adventures. But we also got to watch him play basketball and soccer and tennis. And Josh was always such an athlete. He was just a natural athlete. Anything he could pick up, he could play well. And he was incredibly competitive. And you guys may not know this, but he gets that from his mother. She is ruthless at family game night, but she always apologizes when she wins. So, he was just always so strong and active. And so when When we got the news that Josh had leukemia, I hit my knees in my kitchen and prayed and cried that it was wrong. But cancer didn't keep Josh down. He had such a positive, can-do attitude. For those that knew him at that time, he usually made a joke or used his cancer card for more cake and extra ice cream. He never wanted people to see him as George said, as the cancer kid. He didn't want people to treat him any differently than they did anybody else. Unless that meant that I would bring him pumpkin pie and homemade. So, in the middle of his battle, as George said, he found pickleball, which was such a joy for him to watch or to play, and a joy for us because we're old. And I can't play other games as well, but I did try really hard at pickleball. I was his partner in the Melby tournament, as disappointed as he was that we did it well. But it was a very special memory for me too. But when he couldn't play, he would watch videos on how to be the very best pickleballer that there ever was. And he learned how to do this thing where at the last second he would flick his wrist a certain way and then dink the ball the other way. And then he would throw his hands in the air and walk away triumphant because he always got you. So he always wanted to play, and we didn't always have time, but we tried hard to find time to do that with him. And when things didn't work out the way that we thought they would with Josh, he would usually just say, well, what next? Not with Josh. He was kind. He was always kind. And he was so sweet. And don't get me wrong, the kid knew how to throw shade, usually at Leah or Monica, and he had an incredible arching eyebrow. It rolled his eyes almost all the way to the top of his head. But he always gave me a hug when I left, and he always told him that he loved me. And when George made his video about his gratitude, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm sure you all that watched it too, it was really hard. It was hard to witness his suffering, even on a video, harder in person, to see him suffer so much. But his message, you guys, that's what you take away from his life. You take away that every day you choose joy. You choose to find things in your life that you can do, that you can move forward, no matter how hard things are. Josh never gave up. He never gave up. And that's what I wanted to take away from that. I'm so grateful for the impact that he has on my life. He will always, forever be my extra kid, and I will always be grateful for him. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna pick on her.
I heard the rule of 1 to 2 minutes, so I'm going to be a little more brief. Anyhow, Anna and I were college roommates, so she said it's okay that I picked on her. But, so focusing now on Josh, I love his competitive spirit and that he tolerated, though I like to think that he appreciated my sarcastic sense of humor. We shared a kind of goofy banter that some people would shake their head at. We made a great pickleball team. Our last time was this summer between Josh's treatments. Josh and I won against George and Jane. Even if we had a point or two early, we were ahead. Even if we had to end a point or two early because Josh was tired, he insisted he wasn't, but I knew he was, we won because we were ahead. So he is the final champion of pickleball, and I will fight that to the death for you guys. Josh was so special to me and my family. Our hearts are breaking with the Bops. And if you don't know Bops, their last name was Hansen, a great band from the early 2000s that sang a song called Bops. So we lovingly refer to them as Bops. Thank you for sharing your awesome son with us these past 18 years. We will always treasure his memories, and my family and I are forever grateful for our time with him. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I want to thank you for coming, and if Josh could see how many people were here supporting him, he would be very happy. I am Josh's cousin, Vanessa, and I want to share some moments that really show the type of person Josh was. He was very caring, very loving, and one of the best cousins that I could ever ask for. There was this one game that me and all he was a really good cousin. He let me play on his PC one time. I wasn't good at it, but he continued to let me play. And he was a really good older cousin to me. And when I went there for the summer, he just always let me have a smile because he loved to joke around. He was very fun to be around, always putting smiles on people's faces and just being the best person he can be. My aunt and uncle did a very good job raising him. Leah was a very good sister to him, even though she picked on him a bit, but it's okay because he picked on her. He picked on both me and her, but we picked on him together when they would come home for the summer or Christmas or every time they came. It was such a good time, all of us together, and I will never forget him. He has really made an impact on my life, and he was a role model because he was always inspiring, always trying to be happy no matter what. Even with leukemia, he had a smile on his face and kept pushing through hard moments, which really made him special. Thank you.
I am Josh's cousin Morgan, and there are just a few moments that I just really thought he was a really good, amazing cousin. So even though I don't remember it, my mom always told me that when he was there for my baptism, he would always want to hold me. He would fight everyone else just so that he could hold me, and every time my mom tells me that, I'm like, yes, that's Josh. He was just amazing, caring, and awesome cousin to me. When I found out that he had passed, I got home from school, and my mom told me, and I was just so sad. But I had this one thing, because I went to swim practice that day, and I had this one rule that I told myself, and I said every lap that I took, I would just keep on thinking of Josh, and how strong he was, how amazing he was. And so
hello everyone, my name is Nathan Rose. I met Josh his sophomore year, my senior year. He played on the tennis team with both my brother and I. So this was coming off of a year that we were just handing random people off the street tennis rackets. We had 11 guys on the team, and we needed to reset our team. And when we heard that we were going to have this athletic guy on our team, we said, yes, someone with athletic ability, which is something that we didn't have the year before. And the player that we got had the ability to make everyone on the team laugh. He challenged everyone to be their best self, and not only added to the atmosphere that we had on the tennis team, but he solidified it. After a lot of our matches, we would go to the very fine dining establishment called Buffalo Wild Wings, and the tennis team who's in the back, we are all going to my house afterwards to enjoy Buffalo Wild Wings together in honor of Josh. Josh always had the same order, and that was 30 traditional lemon pepper wings, which is how he earned his nickname. You may have seen some orange shirts that me and my brother, some of my teammates are wearing, and it says, on this team we fight together. And on the back it says, #LemonPepperStrong. He had a ritual while he was eating his wings. He got traditional, and as he was enjoying his dinner, he would stack each bone like Jenga blocks. So by the end of the meal, he would have a bone tower that was 30 bones high and like towering over the rest of like our cups. So we recreated that as well, and he always finished his wings no matter how full he was or looked. The tennis team was just looking at past scores while we were eating dinner, and on May 5th, 3 days before Josh was diagnosed with leukemia, he played 3 matches and won 2 of them. So if that doesn't tell you how much of a competitor he was fighting as hard as he could, as long as he could. After Josh was diagnosed with leukemia, the tennis team rallied around him and did our best to support him during that time. And in July of 2022, the tennis team started having captain's practice, and lo and behold, Josh shows up. Those of us that were there kind of looked at each other and like, are you kidding? Josh is showing up right now? Like, this was in the middle of his treatment, and he was giving us a run for our money. He was running, he was beating us in points. And of course, he let us know that the cancer kid was beating us because he used the cancer card when it was to his benefit. My teammate's favorite characteristic of Josh was just how stubborn he was. He wouldn't let you have anything. And he was stubborn when it came to his hobbies as well. When he couldn't play tennis, it was pickleball. When it wasn't pickleball, it was ping pong. When it wasn't ping pong, it was fishing. When it wasn't fishing, it was fishing videos like George mentioned they watched hours and hours of in the hospital. Zach and I played video games with Josh while he was in the hospital during his relapse, and we played Rocket League, which is a soccer card game that we played with him. And I would admit this now, but Josh was better than me. And so he mentioned a couple times that his fingers felt slower on the controller, and he still continued to outperform me and sometimes Zach. In Rocket League, you have the ability to fly and hit the ball, and I was very bad. Josh was very good at it. And when I would miss, you could always bet that there would be an uncontrollable giggle in my headphones that was Josh just laughing and laughing, and you could almost hear the tears in his eyes as he was laughing. And it was like Zach and I can just both confidently say that he found joy in the simplest of things, even if it was video games or playing tennis. And again, referencing that video that we all saw, he found joy in the simplest of things, and that is exactly what he preached in that very brave video that he made. He was very vulnerable in that moment, and he still chose to say, enjoy what you have while you have it, because you don't know when it can take it away.
Okay, hello, I'm Zachary Mose. I knew Josh from soccer, tennis, and just being close friends with him. From video game soccer to being on the soccer field with Josh, he was always determined to be the best version of himself. Josh missed his entire junior season of high school because of his treatment, but slowly he worked his way back to his senior season. This season would end up being one of the greatest seasons in JAM soccer history. Starting with beating Mayo on their home field when they were ranked 4th in state, then later that season winning Big 9 for the first time in 20-something years. Josh was always in the middle of the celebrations, jumping around, sometimes laying on the floor in front of the entire team, proud as ever. One of my most recent memories with Josh was one night me and Nathan were playing Rocket League with Josh, and I also happened to be taking a physics quiz. It was online, so whatever, and it had 3 attempts. Of course, I would ask Nathan and Josh some of the questions because they're older than me and they had taken physics before. And we were stuck on a question. We really didn't know the answer. So we ended up asking George. I sent the picture to George and Josh, and they tried helping. So they were confident in the answer and told me, so I submitted it. One answer wrong. I looked and I was like, okay, I probably made a mistake, but it was the one question I sent them. Okay, I told them it was wrong, and then they gave me another answer, they apologized, whatever. Again, wrong. That's 2 wrong answers, there's only 4 total answers. So now we got a 50-50 shot. One more time, wrong. So 3 out of the 4 chances, we got them all wrong. And yeah, that was, every time we got it wrong, I heard more and more giggling from Josh because he was not only sacrificing my grade, but to him it was funny. So George, if you ever need a gaming buddy, me and Nathan are here, but I'll think twice, maybe 3 times about physics answers. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. If you guys don't know me, I was one of Josh's friends, many friends. I'm cheating. I was the big reason he wasn't home on the weekend in the summer. But I want to thank George and Monica for raising such a fine young gentleman. And it's been hard this past year, knowing they've been going through all this, and now they finally left us. He's not suffering anymore. But I also I want to share a couple moments. There was a moment that he came down to the cross when I moved down there, and he slept over for the weekend because we planned on going fishing, right? I was about to go to sleep, and he trapped me under the blanket and farted. And he kept doing it. And I finally broke free, and he was already on the ground laughing. But another thing from our fishing trips together is that we would always do catch and cooks. That's why sometimes when George or Monica would pick us up, we would always have a big bucket of fish. I would say I was one of Josh's mentors, but he also taught me about fishing. But for our friend Wyatt that couldn't join us tonight, I just know that we're still gonna make fun of you. And then another moment that I would like to share is during the summer nights when we wouldn't have anything to do. He would bring out his scooter, and I would bring out my hoverboard, and we would just go around the neighborhoods and race, which sucked because he was a bit faster. My hoverboard only went 5 miles an hour. Yeah, he was one of my best friends, and he's one of the best fishing partners that you could ever ask for. So I don't really got much to say, but I just love you, bro, and just know that you changed me. And I want to thank George and Monica for having me here tonight. And I love you guys because you guys are also like a second parent to me. So I want to thank everybody again for coming out tonight.
Hello everybody, my name is Nathaniel Nicker. I have the pleasure of being Josh's doubles partner in tennis. And I suppose it isn't half as good as being farted on by him. But I'd like to share with you one of the best tennis matches that I can say I've played Josh with. So I want you to either close your eyes, try your best to imagine, use your imaginations. I trust you guys. Imagine blistering heat, no clouds, 90 degrees, let's say fairly humidity. Excuse me, grammar. We're facing down, doesn't really matter, but Winona or Owatonna, one of the two. And time after time, we lose points. I know this isn't looking good, but trust me, this is going to have a severe twist in it. So it was looking like, I think we were down the first set, and 0-3. I was kneeling, in the service box, thinking to myself, okay, we're down, how are we going to turn this around? And it's then I felt Josh on my back. So I was kneeling down, like this. I felt Josh right behind me. Hey, you doing good? And I was sitting down thinking, is this God? Has God come to send me advice from the heavens above? And then I turned around. And for a second I saw Jesus. And I said, yeah, I'm doing good. And then we went to win a full set. From that one point onward. And here's the kicker. We won the whole match after that. So it's been said that if Josh is anything, he's stubborn. Down to his leukemia diagnosis, down to him kicking butt again and again in tennis, soccer, basketball, whatever front it's on. He's a stubborn kid. And if I know one thing about us as a tennis team, as a basketball team, soccer, and any other front, it's going to take far from heaven and earth to keep us apart. Thank you.
Is there anybody else that's willing to come up and share? Yeah.
My name is Ashton. So we've been friends with you guys for since I can remember. We did preschool and kindergarten and other areas, but I always remember that our parents would have to hang out, and then Josh and I got to hang out, and we, from pretty young on, we would disappear for a while, and they would always find us doing something crazy, normally Josh leading it, which is really fun for us. But I definitely remember a specific Thanksgiving where we got to come over there, and Josh just kind of invited me downstairs and my brother, and we were playing Call of Duty, standing 6 inches from the screen, screaming at the top of our lungs, Josh whipping us. And then again, we disappeared, and Josh was teaching me how to skateboard. And he made me believe that I was great at skateboarding. And then he started olling over these little cushions in the basement, and I started falling over things and making loud noises and got in trouble. And then went outside, and again, he was teaching me more things. I had played basketball. I was older, but he was destroying me yet again. And he was teaching me about the professor, the Spider-Man, the man with the handles. And I went back home and I tried my hardest every single day to try to top Josh. And tried teaching myself skateboarding, which ended with me face planting in the half pipe. So I gave that up. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that Josh was always trying to inspire us to have fun. And he was always kind of leading us on to that what's next and kind of wanting the best for everyone. And so it's been tough. We love you, Josh.
Anybody else want to speak up? Please. This is the time to honor Josh and just tell fun, kooky stories. So please come on up. Thank you, Lindsay.
Well, sorry guys. I am Josh's Aunt Shell. I'm not his grandma, as a few of you thought tonight, but you know who you are. Now, if Josh were here, he would have heard this and laughed, and he just would have found that so fun. Josh was all about fun and joy and just never a dull moment. I mean, you couldn't keep that boy down. He was always wanting to play something, sports, games, whatever. And I have the girls did so wonderful, everybody has done so wonderful off the cuff, and getting in front of people is hard for me, but I want to play just one quick little game in honor of Josh. Oatmeal pies was one of Josh's favorite Little Debbie's, and in our family. Everybody might know a favorite for him, but they were gone within. So every time I would visit with him, when he'd come from Minnesota and I'd come from Virginia to Ohio, I would bring oatmeal pies, and they'd be gone in no time. So I will just play one last game. We'll always think of Josh when we're gaming, always. But the game we'll just play as somebody, not friends and family, who will know this answer. You're not qualified to play this game, sorry. But the one question I have, whoever answers first will get this little dummy. And the question is, where did Monica go into labor with Josh? Yell it loud so I can hear you. Homer! All right, we got a winner! Woo! Come on, can somebody take this down? Who the winner is? Help. Thank you. But I just want to say it was a privilege to be Josh's aunt. I was his when I was in the hospital visiting him, I said, Josh, I'm your crazy Aunt Shell. And he said, no, he shook his head. I said, silly Aunt Shell? He said, yes, you're my silly Aunt Shell. And I'd like to believe that part of him, he got for me. And I love you, Josh, with all my heart.
Got any basketball players that want to sneak up here? This is just an awesome time of celebrating and just sharing about Josh. So I want to thank you all for coming. Please, we got Grandma.
This is a grandma. Yes, this is the real thing. This is the grandma. Not the grandma like someone who thinks she has much more energy than I could ever have. Not as much as Joshua. Joshua's always been a hero. All of my grandchildren. All of my heroes. All of my daughters. All my loves. Okay, and I know the night is getting late. It's been a very emotional day. I guess I always turn to the Lord when I need help. So God's been my constant help because Papa, Josh's Papa, all of my grandchildren call him Papa, passed away 7 years in April ago. And he was a big part of my life, but he always told me, Nancy, when I'm gone, because he suffered greatly, not as greatly as Josh though. He looked like his papa, he acted like his papa, and we always embraced that as a family. But I saw my husband and all the children and my grandchildren always be blessed by that. I'm going to wrap it up because I could go on forever. But lying in bed waiting to do this day, I got pepperoni sandwiches. And I'm like, what, God? Pepperoni sandwiches. Josh laughed. Never heard such a thing. Pepperoni sandwiches. He stayed with us for about a week after being with Grandma and Grandpa Hansen. And a week with Grandma and Grandpa Florian. And we made lots of pepperoni sandwiches. I got party. I got the word party. And I went, party? And Josh loved to party. And a healthy way, though. Not the way some of us have chosen to party. Maybe that will come later. I don't know. And the other word was peace. And he's at peace now. He's in the arms of Jesus. I wrote all the grandchildren's cards, I think all the time. Maybe even now that they're all older, stronger, wiser than Grandma. I'm Nene to my kids. But I would always say, Jesus loves you so much. Please always keep him close to your heart. He'll never let you down. As he's shown my life and my husband's. So I think I just better close with better words than I have for you, but words that God really did put in my heart. Near to the end of Josh's journey. And it's from Timothy, 2 Timothy. And I've got my grandson's phone, and I don't want to mess it up, so I'm just going to read it before I tell you. I know it's New King James Version, but I can't tell you exactly the chapter and verse. But just Google, I have fought the good fight. I fought the good fight. And I'm going to say you instead of I. I'm going to replace you, and we'll all talk to Josh. Let's just say, Josh, you have fought the good fight. You have finished the race. You have kept the faith. Finally, Josh.
yesterday on the 9th, and not to you only, Josh, but also to all who have loved his appearing. I'll just say amen, and let's all love his appearing. Thank you, and I bless you all for being there for these wonderful son-in-law George, beautiful Monica daughter, and my granddaughter Lee, and Lexi, of course. So, I think I better hit the microphone.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael. I was Josh's basketball teammate at the 2022 John Marshall when I was B squad. And most of our teammates, I think my teammates were just people that we had at practice. If you could think of that. I like to come up here and speak, about the wonderful person that Josh is. I met Josh right after COVID when we came back to school. I believe we had Spanish, and then if I'm not mistaken, we had choir. Seeing him around and also seeing him at open gym, we started getting to know each other naturally, and we got close and became good friends. Josh, very, as I got to know Josh, I figured that he was just a goofy person, someone who just loved to laugh. Every time I had snacks in Spanish class, he would steal them. We would just joke around in the group, 1v1s, 2v1s, where we might be yelling at each other right after the game, we'd be buddy and all that stuff. But yeah, Josh is someone who will be dealing with, and I am honored to have Josh be a part of my life. It's an honor to have me and him walk on the same stage and being able to graduate together last year. And I'd like to say a story about Josh. So, I had many stories, I don't know which one. There was this one time we were in Spanish classes about, I believe 2021 or 2022, something like that. We all had masks and stuff, and coming out of quarantine, for me, it's with Spanish, I wasn't really the best at Spanish, so I'd be falling asleep during class. And, so coming into person, Spanish is a little bit difficult for me, but, every time we have quizzes or tests, we'll be standing about 6 feet to my left, and, I'll go ahead and pass them a few answers and stuff, and pass them a few answers. Surprisingly, we didn't get caught, and I'm grateful that, letting you guys know right now. Rather than, Mr. and Mrs. Hansen getting an email. Looking back at those times, as much as it hurts, I'm glad, I'm happy for Josh because he's somewhere where, we're all trying to go, and it's with the Lord. And for me knowing that he's somewhere where he's at peace, somewhere where he's loved by our Savior, and somewhere where he doesn't have to worry no more, I can live with that, I can live with, him being at peace, and it may hurt, it may sting, but eventually, as time goes by, we'll see each other again, and he better be back to his jump shot. Thank you so much. I love you, Mr. and Mrs. Hansen, and siblings, all the family, uncles, friends, and family that came today to support Josh. Thank you.
wanted to try to tell you about the promise that I made for Josh. Imagine in the last couple of years, a lot of us have made promises that we expected to have that moment, that opportunity to do again. So this is my whole story about the promise to Josh. I didn't get to grow up with him as much as you guys did, but as fate may have it, after I went away, and these little moments happen where this little spark comes in your life. And that spark was Josh, and it went kind of like this. I kind of live on the water, and it sounds like Josh loves to fish, and I would hear about this through the grapevine of friends, and at some point, they have a boat. And they take this boat out where I can often be found on the daily. And there aren't very many people that I know that love fishing as much as I do. And I love him. And it was a pretty cool moment because I pulled my boat up to Keith Nan's boat and we tied up. And I don't think it took very long for Josh to pipe up. Well, George and Monica were there to speak as mom and dad. So he went straight to Annie and said, "Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? Please, can I go? Can I go? Can I go?" Which I imagine is probably what he said to you every time he wanted to go fishing. And that energy was just intoxicating because it isn't very often that somebody begs to come into my boat with me. I fish alone a lot for a reason. It's because I'll spend all day and all night out there, which sounds like someone I met. So I got the great pleasure, once mom, number 2, gave permission, to hop in the boat with him and take him on a little adventure. And I was told we didn't have long because they needed to get going soon. So we pulled away and I looked at Josh. And this will be something that I remember for the rest of my life and have every quiet moment, because you know there's a lot of quiet moments in fishing. And when the quiet comes and it settles, I see Josh's face. When I looked over and said, "Do you want to go fast?" And his eyes got so big and his cheeks got so red all of a sudden, and he just lit up and said, "Yes!" And so I floored it. And things that you don't tell mom and dad 1 and mom and dad 2 is that we made it up to 55 miles an hour. We were both so excited. I will always remember his face. I'll always remember his excitement. And while I was away from him for many years, there are those moments where a kid just hits you. And he hits me. And every time I fish, and it's quiet, I would always think of him. And the last time I got to fish with him, I told him as I always would, "I promise you always have a seat in my boat. I will take you any and every time you want." He's always had a rod in my boat. He will always have a rod in my boat. It was his graduation gift, and it will always be. And I want to extend the invitation, of course, to all of you. If you ever feel the need to join Josh in the boat, come fishing with me, because he's always on the Mississippi in spirit, for sure. So that's my little promise to him. Thank you for sharing his joy with me. He was so special.
Anybody else want to sneak up and share anything?
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke. I grew up across the street from Josh, and I'm gonna make it quick because big crowds are scary, but I just want to thank Josh for treating Lexi like a sister. I know that Lexi looks at him as a brother, and I can't thank him enough for loving her. We miss you. So, I've been begging Lexi to share this story all night. So I'm going to share it on her behalf. A couple nights ago, she was showing me a bunch of pictures of Josh. And this really fits well with the theme of how hardworking Josh was, because she told me that her and Josh would be out in the snow for hours building snow igloos. The cold maybe wasn't what Leah preferred. So when Leah didn't want to partake, Lexi took over. But Leah, she cheered him on through the window. So you guys know on TikTok when you double speed it? You know what I'm talking about? I just picture Lexi and Josh out in the snow, just digging away. And they were amazing igloos. They were huge. They worked hard on them. And what George saying about Josh always playing basketball, every time I was outside, I saw Josh. He never gave up. Never. And every time he saw me out there, he would say, "Hey, Brooke." He was just, everything you heard, it's just so true. It just describes the amazing person he was. Thank you.
I didn't think I was going to say anything because I didn't want to blubber all over everybody, but I didn't know Josh as a teenager. I knew Josh as a young little fella, and I had the privilege to do life with George and Monica and Leah and Josh with my family, and we were raising our babies best we knew how, you know, and as everybody's been talking about how kind and loving Josh was, he was so loving that he gave my daughter her first little kiss when they were little itty bitties. I don't know if it is, Anna says it wasn't in our basement, I don't know where it was. My daughter is Anna, but that was her first kiss, was Josh. I don't know, were they 3 or 4, and George had a talking with him. Like, you can't be go kissing no girls all the time. And so I have so many sweet memories with your family, with Josh. He's a special, special young man. And I cannot wait to meet with him again. I love you guys.
Anybody else want to sneak up?
Hello, I'm Josh's younger cousin Nathan. I'm younger than him by a year. And as mentioned, he was someone who always lit up a room, and our lives are filled with, fond memories of him, all of them. But one of those fond memories I'd like to share with you guys is whenever we do the road trip from Virginia to Ohio to see our family, I remember always waiting for, Uncle George, Josh, Aunt Monica. I'd wait for them to all get there, because Josh was the fun cousin. You know, you wanted to be spending time with him. And I remember waiting, and I'd see the red van pull in, and I'd just be so excited because that meant Josh was there now. You got to spend some time with him. And even more so, I remember when we were all settled down for the night, Josh seemed to have an appetite that he just couldn't fuel. And him and me would always do these little trips to the kitchen. We'd be all quiet, we'd be doing it in secret because we didn't want to get caught. And as my mom mentioned, he loved those oatmeal cream pies. So he'd be sneaking those, and we'd be having other chips and just drinks in the kitchen. And we'd always make it a point to be as quiet as possible because we didn't want to get in trouble. And I'm sure all of our lives are filled with sweet and funny memories like that with Josh because that's just the type of person he was. He filled our lives with that. So thank you.
Anybody else to speak up?
Hi, my name is Anna, not the Anna that you kissed, but Anna. I also grew up across the street from the Hansens, and I was lucky enough to have them be like a second family. So I grew up being their babysitter. So almost every single day of the summers, I got to spend time with Leah and Josh. And we just became so close, and we made so many amazing memories. And with Josh, it was always like playing lacrosse or playing basketball, going to the pool, doing so many outdoor fun activities with him. I would say almost 80% of the time we did what little Leah wanted to do. And every now and then, you know, Josh would get frustrated and be like, Anna, when can we do what I want to do? And Leah she had a big personality when she was young. So it just usually ended up being what Leah wanted to do, but he was just so selfless, and he always wanted to do what his little sister wanted to do. And I guess I just wanted to come up here and say that just watching them grow up, I was just able to see how much Josh loved you, Leah. He absolutely loved being your big brother. And he loved doing the fun little games that you wanted to do. He would always want to be a part of it. Even if it wasn't what he wanted to do, he always wanted to be there and to make more memories with her. And I was just so lucky to see that. You know, they didn't really have that like relationship as siblings where they didn't fight all the time. Like they just had such a loving and fun relationship. Of course they would like give each other crap every now and then, but it was always in a loving way. And anytime that they would get in a fight growing up, they always apologized to each other. So yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge how great of a brother he was and how great of a sister she was to him. And it was just so beautiful to see how much they loved each other and how much he loved George and Monica. You guys have such a beautiful family, and I am so lucky that I was able to grow up seeing that and being a part of that. And those will truly always be some of the best memories in my life, is growing up, being able to be their babysitter and being able to spend every single day with them. It was so much fun and something that I will always look fondly on.
Anybody else want to step up?
you so much for coming. Josh, we would love to see you all. And he'd be up there having his usual eats fabulous. So, I made over there. I hope there may be some left. But help yourself, enjoy, talk amongst yourselves, and share stories if you have the ability to.